Hello! Thank you for coming to this video today, guys. I really appreciate it. This is going to be an awesome video. I think there's something missing with the Project Catalyst stuff. There's stuff coming from IOHK, but there's not really many videos that really go into the details about how the voting system is going to work, how you can be a part of Project Catalyst, essentially what's going on right now, how much rewards you're going to receive for voting, because voting is actually incentivized. I'm going to be going over how to actually calculate how much ADA you're going to receive, how to actually participate, how to submit an idea, how to actually get the ideas that you like to flourish. We're going to be going over a lot of cool stuff in this video, and I think this information's missing. So please stay tuned for it. I would really appreciate it. If you guys want to support me and my channel, the best way you can do so is delegating to my pools Bloom and Bloom 2. We have a 2.5 million pledge to secure the network from Sybil attacks. Over 3,000 people already delegate with Bloom, so that ensures some security and stakes. So you don't have to pay too much, that minimum cost per epoch. Yeah, it really does help me out. And then also downloading the Brave browser. The Brave browser is awesome. It's actually what I'm using in this video today. It's what I use every day. It blocks ads and the trackers within those ads, because those trackers within those ads actually track your IP address, get your location, and then they use that and they sell it, and it helps them even pay for those ads. And then you also get paid in cryptocurrency for just using the browser. It's pretty cool. Another thing is, if you guys actually liked this video, comment it down below and click that notification bell. It really does help my channel. YouTube doesn't really like cryptocurrency channels, so it really helps me out if you guys do those things. Sometimes my videos don't catch on, and it's really just interaction, so doing that really does help me. It's not just me saying it for no reason. But let's jump into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about in this video is really what's going on. What is Project Catalyst? How to submit ideas, just all that information. So first off, what is Project Catalyst? Well, Project Catalyst is really the first initiative for Voltaire. But it's actually not the voting and the ideas and all the system. It's not within the wallets. It's not within Daedalus or your Roy. It's actually on a website, and that website's called cardano.ideascale.com. I'll have the link for that down below. Currently, we're in Fund 2 challenge right now, and they have these challenges set up, and then with the challenges, there's a phase, because there has to be some sort of process to make this all work, to actually pick some ideas out of there to give funding, and that's what we're going to be going over today. So I wanted to go over the timeline and then also the challenge. So the Fund 2 challenge is, how can we encourage developers and entrepreneurs to build dApps and businesses on top of Cardano in the next 6 months? This mission is critical because it's the contributions from developers and entrepreneurs that will determine the value of Cardano. Right, so then we have the campaign timeline, and this is really important. The submission of proposals, and this we're going to be submitting a proposal later so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This actually expires on the 30th of September, right? So it's the 25th, so 5 days, 4 to 5 days left to actually submit that. This video will be going up today, so make sure you guys get those proposals in there and you get them some traction before the refined phase starts. Well, the submit phase actually stops on the 30th. The refined phase starts on the 30th and then expires on the 7th. The refined phase is important. That's where the ideas are going to be refined, and then there's going to be the finalized phase on the 14th, the assess phase on the 21st, and then the voter discussion. So that's a brief little intro to what Catalyst actually is. Make sure you guys click on this website. I'm also going to be giving you a lot of documentation on how this stuff works. So the next thing I wanted to go into to get you excited is the rewards, because I know a lot of people are interested in rewards, but I also wanted to tell you what each phase is. So in the refined phase, the focus group provides feedback on how to improve or shape ideas into proposals and seek ways to work together. At the end of the stage, a final version of the proposal is submitted. In this stage, idea teams are called on to provide additional details about their ideas, answer questions, and help flesh out your ideas, refining them into proposals for implementation. So this is the finalized phase. And then the assess phase. In this stage, community advisors rank proposals based on 3 criteria: feasibility, auditability, and impact. Then the voter discussion. In this stage, registered voters vote on proposals in the voting app. Focus groups discuss the merits of proposals and pose questions to the proposers. And then the archive, perspective from the challenge exploration. So just to scroll back up here. So now that you guys know what's actually going on, the voting will start on the 28th, so it should start. Yeah, it starts on the 21st and expires on the 28th. So the voting in-app will actually be done from the 21st to the 28th. So while you're all still here, let's actually take a look at what rewards you could make for voting. So I know this is the question that you guys have all been waiting for. How much voting rewards will I receive at the end of Fund 2? And this is a variable amount. I can't just tell you the exact amount that you're going to get based on this video, because it's based on the amount of people that actually participate in the voting. So the more people that vote, the less rewards you're going to get, because the pool is $50,000. It's $50,000 in ADA, and that's the rewards for the people that vote, right? So if more people vote, you get less of that $50,000, you know. So the actual formula is stake divided by stake total. It's pretty simple. And then we know that the total is 50,000, and they actually have charts. So this is what's pretty cool, is you guys will actually be paid for voting. And you could be paid a lot if not too many people vote. But I think with incentivizing voting, also you have YouTube channels. I feel like this information will get out there fast. I'm going to release a video on my channel showing you guys how to vote step by step. So make sure you guys subscribe if you're looking forward to that. The day it's released, I'll have a video on that. So the total treasury fund is $250,000 worth of ADA, which is about 2,167,000 ADA. And so they have these little tables here that are really useful. So this is table 1, and this is a total ADA participated of 1,687,000, and that would be this bottom number right here, the stake total, right? So if you scroll down, you can see that you actually get a lot of ADA, but don't take this at all, because a lot more people are going to vote than just 1,687,000, right? Because if you look at the rewards, if you have 8,000 ADA, if you vote with 8,000 ADA, you get 2,000 ADA for voting, right? And that's a huge percentage. And if you vote with 100,000, you get 25,000. So that's like 1/4, a little over, right? So this is with 1.6 million participated. So that's not going to happen. And then here's 30 million. For 80,000, you get 116. And then for 500 million, which I think we're starting to actually get to the correct range here, 500 million, a billion, maybe even a little higher than that. I guarantee there's going to be at least 500 million people that vote on these proposals, like at least in general, you know, the total stake, right? So let's scroll down here. Well, they're also, so the ADA is actually locked up, so that might actually de-incentivize voters. So we're going to have to see how this plays out, but we'll go ahead and look. We'll run the numbers for the 500 million ADA. So for 8,000 ADA, you get 7 ADA. For 50,000 ADA, you get 43. For a million, you get 867. So that doesn't seem like, and look, it's kind of seems a little backwards here, but 100,000, you get 87. That doesn't really seem like much incentives to me, right? I mean, they can't just give out a bunch, but if the whole goal is to incentivize voters, I'm going to vote because, I mean, that's what my utility token is here for, right? I mean, I have ADA, and some of the value that's in it is the fact that I can vote in the system, you know, so I'm going to do it whether I'm rewarded or not. But if they're really trying to incentivize voters, I mean, especially because I really do think $1 billion is going to be, I'm thinking around $1 billion, you know, I mean, that's just a random guess. So, so for $1 billion, if you vote with 100,000 ADA, I feel like the average is probably 50,000. You know, so 8,000 you get 3, 50,000 you get 22, and 100,000 you get 43. The reason I use 8,000, I need to mention this, I'm sorry that I haven't mentioned it thus far, is you need 8,000 ADA to vote. So that's really important. What else? Okay, yeah, so the total reward for voters is actually 20%. So, I mean, if you think about it, they can't really do much more than that. So, you know, I'm saying that's not much of an incentive, but they really can't do much more than that. Yeah. So that's the voting part. We're going to have a lot more cool stuff in this video, so please stay tuned. So I wanted to show you guys this spreadsheet really quick. It's pretty gnarly. So you can look at the estimated rewards, And hold on, let's scroll over here. So we're interested in the treasury. So look, treasury at the start of each epoch. So we can scroll back to look at what epoch it is. So we have 208, 209, 210, and then following that, just counting by one epoch each time. So we had 0 in the treasury at start, and then past that, that's some cash. Past that, starting to really build up, and keep in mind that is Lovelace's, so we can take this number and we can divide that by 1,000,000 and see what it actually is. But it's cool to see the treasury actually build up. So it'd be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, so that's a good bit of ADA right there. What is that? That's 8,332,813. So as you can see, the treasury is building up. I will have the link to this down below if you guys want to watch it. It's pretty sweet. I didn't make it. I just found it. All these links to these important documentations and stuff will be down below. Another one is this one. This is kind of a paper written on how all this stuff works. We will be referencing this later in the video. But first, I wanted to actually check out the Project Catalyst website. So once you come to this website, you can actually post your ideas, and then you can also critique ideas. It's it's kind of like a social media platform in a way. When someone posts an idea, you can comment on it, right? So if we go to, I guess we can just go to all ideas, so browse ideas here. So if someone making this website is watching this, I did get some feedback from someone last time. So one thing that I would really like you guys to fix, this is a huge issue with the site, is so the only button that actually works right now is recent, right? The recent shows the recent, obviously. Random works too. But the issue is when you go to trending, because I would like to see trending or popular, the one with the most claps. But when you click this, look what happens. You get Fund 1 Challenge, Project Catalyst Problem Sensing, Fund 1. Because all of the Fund 1 were actually archived, and all the ideas were archived, I think that trending should just be the fun too. That's what people are worried about. People want to see the claps for the new ones. But back to the video, what you can do in the idea section is actually look for ideas, right? So for example, you have this idea right here: COVID-19 small businesses support. So what you can do is you can actually applaud this. You get one, it's called kudos. You get 1 kudo per day. And for example, if you guys like my podcast, you can just give that podcast 1 kudo per day. Or if you like other ideas, give 1 to me, give 1 to Kaizen, give 1 to whoever, right? But as far and then, so once you click on it, we'll go ahead and use COVID-19 small business support, which I think if we had the money for it, I think that'd be a great idea. How awesome would it be to help all the small businesses that were impacted by the shutdowns, because a lot of that money printed didn't really go to small businesses as they said it was. So this would be a good idea, but the issue with it is we have to take a look at the amount of money that we have, so the amount of money we have has to be taken into account. So we don't have enough money to actually help any small business, the amount of money that we have in the first treasury fund and fund 2 isn't enough. So what you would do to display that idea is come down here and you type that out. You say, this is a good idea. I wish we could help small businesses, but we can't do this currently with the amount of funding that we have, right? So I suggest people just be constructive and not be nice, because people take a lot of value in their ideas, and criticism is good as long as it's constructive, so and this is where the community really comes into play, is by posting their comments on this stuff, and you can actually be a curator for a lot of these ideas. So like, for example, we can take a look at mine. We should be able just to find it here, the Cardano Aura. The link for this will be down below. I would really appreciate if you guys gave me a kudos, because I currently have 39. But I really would like to make this podcast a success. I would like to get funding for it. I've released 2 episodes already. An episode just came out yesterday. It was with the creator of Pool Tool. It was an awesome episode. He was a great guy. I think people sleep on Pool Tool. And within that video, I actually show you guys, or he shows you how you can actually track your rewards each epoch, something that Daedalus can't even do, right? So that would be really useful for you guys to check that out. But yeah, so I think you can even give yourself a kudos if you wanted to. But so this is my proposal, and this is what I would suggest to people when they write a proposal. I'm not saying mine's great, but I'm saying I took a lot of time to make it. I've edited it like 5 times. I've wrote it. I've checked it. I've reread it. I've added stuff. I've taken away stuff. I've looked at the comments and made judgments on my based on the comments, right? So Nico from Emergo said the first podcast with Sebastian was good. How many episodes will 15K sponsor? That's a good question, right? Because you need to have a length, you know. So if you guys want to submit your own ideas, I told you guys how to really be the curator of this. If you want to submit your own ideas, all you have to do is click Submit Proposal. And once you click that, it will take you to this page. And what I'm actually going to do is go to the edit page because it's the same page that you will get to when you click Submit Proposal. So click Submit Proposal. It'll take you to this page, and this is where you actually write this. And if you guys want your idea to succeed, you have 5 days. First of all, you have to push it out there on social media. That's a really big thing because there's so many ideas already. You know, there's as many ideas right now. I'm sure there will be as many ideas as stake pools here soon. You know, it's going to be a saturated market because a lot of people have ideas, but a lot of people can't actually act on the idea. So you have to tell them how you're going to act on the idea and the qualifications you have for that, right? So let's look at all the text fields. So you have a campaign, and then if you want to do this, you're going to have to select Fund 2 Challenge. The other one is problem sensing. That's just for the site. So you want to do Fund 2 Challenge there. I probably should submit the problem sensing for the sorting by popular because that would be so useful. You want to see the most popular ideas. At least I do, you know, because there's so many. You can't just go through random and sort through hundreds of ideas. So proposal title, make it good. You don't have much characters. I wish there were a bit more here. I would like to have like maybe even 100, you know, like I just feel like that's a little short. You know, you have to keep it concise. You have a problem statement, which is limited to 100 character or 140, I think. You're limited on all these, so you have to really think of something concise, you know. And then also in the link down below, I'm going to have a link to the proposal guide. So they actually had, like, it kind of reminds me of a college paper guide, you know, how to write a college paper. They have proposing a title. They have rising to the challenge. You know, they have essentially how you should write this, how much effort you should put into it, like relevant experience, plan in detail. They have a guide on how to do all this stuff. So if you're serious about this, I would read this guide because this is it right here. You know, this is the information from the people that have made this and probably the people that are going to curate your stuff. So we can go back to it. So then, yeah, the relevant experience. And then this is where the detailed plan comes in. And this is where I really provided the bulk of the information. Like, for example, I've already actually made a podcast, right? So I got to post a link of the podcast on there and say, here's what I can do. This is my relevant experience. I've already made the thing. You know, if you guys like this, then vote for me. You know, I feel like you should do something similar to that. I feel like you also shouldn't be anonymous. You know, what's stopping you from getting the funds and running? You know, I feel like there has to be some accountability there. And there's really nothing stopping anyone from doing that, I don't think. But by not being anonymous, there's accountability. And if I were you, I would put a lot of effort into your detailed plan and a lot of effort into the experience, the problem. Just a lot of effort into all this if you want people to vote for you, you know, because people will see that effort. And if you don't have the time to put effort into a proposal, how can you translate that into a project that's going to bring value to this ecosystem, right? So that is the idea submission. Like I said, if you guys would like to support my idea, this will be in the link down below. Please check out that podcast I made yesterday. I think it was really good. I even liked it more than the Sebastian podcast. I feel like Pool Tools slept on a little bit. So there are a couple more things I want to go over, and we'll do that in the next part of the video. So there's going to be a couple minutes of reading here. Please stay. There's a couple more important things after this. I'll get through this as fast as I can, but this is a very important information for how this works. This is what comes after submitting an idea. It's the proposal life cycle. So after a proposal is submitted to IdeaScale, it is evaluated by community advisors who must be real people with verified and transparent identities, with valid accounts in social media with Cardano participation history, like ambassadors, registered and approved on IdeaScale 2 weeks before voting. The proposal submission, moving from IdeaScale to the blockchain, is called a pre-voting stage and lasts 5 days. Then a voting stage, 18 days, starts, and Cardano holders submit their ballots. The winner are selected using a fuzzy threshold voting. This is a yes, no, abstain voting system with a specific feature. The voting procedure depends not only on the score of candidates, but also on the amount of funds requested by each proposal that allows obtaining more accurate results. Based on that voting, proposals are ranked by a sum of votes and funded in order of community support. So yes, voted stake, no, voted stake. So if the amount requested by the proposal is larger than the remaining funding amount, it is skipped. So that's very important. A proposal must have 15% more yes votes than no votes. A proposal receiving 10 yes votes and more than 8.5 no votes will not receive funding. So that's that 15% example right there. A high level of participation in voting is expected, so 15% of community approval is quite reasonable value for the threshold. So, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So during a post-voting stage, voting committee members tally votes and publish the results. The winning proposals get the required funding right after the results of the voting are published, without special control of proposals execution and additional payments on proposals. It is assumed that large payments are made only to the well-established teams. Projects requiring long-term funding are consistently supported in Fund 3, Fund 4, etc., with a discussion in the community about how well the previous phase was completed. So how to vote for proposals. So I mentioned this earlier, you have to have 8,000. And then what's also cool is I saw this in another page. We should go ahead and just read over this. It is really important. So the voting stake threshold and voluntarily hold them. So they must have at least 8,000 ADA and voluntarily hold them. So you're going to have your ADA held for a predefined period of time till the end of the voting stage. That is required to define the price number of voters in the system and to incentivize them to vote responsibly, as well as to calculate the voting power of each participant or the corresponding rewards for voters. The minimal threshold is defined so that to have a reasonable maximal expected number of votes to keep the effectiveness of the voting procedure. The voting is done through the Catalyst voting application. Voters mark proposals in the ballots as yes, no, or abstain. The voter's power vote for each proposal is proportional to the voting stake held by the voter. It does not matter how many proposals are voted, one, several, or all proposals. Each voter proposal is supported/rejected by the whole voter's stake. If the proposal is not voted, it is automatically marked as abstain. The marked ballot should be submitted to the blockchain till the end of the voting stage to be counted and tallied. A fee on the ballot submission and resubmission is 1 voting token needed for DOS protection. A voting token is a token granted on the blockchain signifying voting power. For every 1 ADA used for registration, you will automatically receive 1 voting token on the Catalyst blockchain, and that is only valid for Fund 2 voting period. These tokens can be used for Catalyst blockchain voting on Fund 2 and nowhere else. So this is, say you don't use all your votes or you don't vote, you're not going to have these voting tokens for Fund 3 or for Fund 4. What I'm gathering from this is you're going to have a different token, and that's going to be your voting token. So your ADA will still be held, and you don't have to lock. So you have to lock up. It seems you have to lock up 8,000 ADA to get the voting tokens, but I'm not sure if you can still actually stake during that period. So I'm actually going to figure that out and get back to you in 1 second. So the last thing I want to talk about in this video is something I forgot to mention, and it's the predefined tags right here. So you can actually do seek blockchain dev, seek marketing, which is useful. If you're seeking someone for your idea for a skill that you don't have, it's really important to know that you can do that. And then I want to do a little recap on the best place that you can find for information about Project Catalyst. This information is just getting you started. This video is not the best piece of information. So I'm going to show you guys where to find this information. I went over it a little bit. The first page is right here. It's the Project Catalyst Community FAQ. And then there's important documents within there. You can see the Fund 2 voter rewards that I went over earlier. You can see the governance protocol, the proposal writing guide that I brought up earlier, the community advisor guideline. I'm going to have all these links down below, not all of them, but the link to this main FAQ, also the link to the rewards, also the link to the idea submission. Yeah, and then also I did actually answer the question about will you be able to stake to a pool, and also a little bit more about the locking up. So that's very important. So in Fund 2, there is actually not going to be a lockup. So that's very important to note. There's going to be no lockup. Another thing is Fund 3 was when the lockup will start, but the voting is going to be a little different this time around. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I really would appreciate if you guys click this link down below, gave me some kudos and maybe some feedback. It really does support me. I really like all the stuff I'm doing, and this funding will help me be able to work on this full time. It'll be able to let me deck out, just have a better camera, have soundproofing, make it professional, and I'm really looking to improve. So if you guys have any feedback for me, feel free. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, turn on the notification bell. If you made it this far, please type Project Catalyst in the comments down below. That really would help me in the YouTube algo. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful week. This will probably be the last video I make this week and over the weekend. I've kind of grinded out a little bit. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Goodbye.